Vader learns a valuable lesson from the Emperor, and Hondo meets Chirrut Imwe, all in this week's episode of Star Wars Weekly. Hello fellow Star Wars fans, my name is Starrapter and welcome back to the channel. Every week I love talking about Star Wars that can relate to anything such as the comics, novels, TV series, and more. So if you're looking for that, you're in the right place because I do this every single week. So get into it. For this week we have two comics to talk about. The first one is finishing up the Age of Rebellion series with Darth Vader, issue number 1 for Age of Rebellion. So this one has Darth Vader soon after the events of Revenge of the Sith. He does have his red lightsaber, but he still is using that older ship that was seen in Charles Soule's and Giuseppe Camuncoli's Darth Vader series in the beginning. And he is learning his way through the will of the Emperor. So he is, working with this Admiral, and things go bad because Vader doesn't listen to the Admiral and destroys this coaxium reserve that the rebels are having. And, well, he gets in trouble by the Emperor. The Emperor says, look, you are having to follow my will. Even if it's the Admiral that is in charge, he is my will at that point, so you have to abide. So basically the whole premise of the story is you keep seeing this Admiral sort of taking advantage of that and putting Vader in these really dire circumstances, and just seeing how much he can push Vader to the point where Vader eventually learns that he knows the right time to sever the connection, because the Emperor says you will know when to stop this arrangement or whatever. And, well, he ends up doing this mission with this big space crab thing, lures a space crab into the Star Destroyer, and basically has this guy taken out by this big crab. So Vader does get his vengeance in the end, and it's pretty great. So getting into the things that I liked about this issue is, first off, that connection with the comics, seeing the early version of Vader. I love seeing that. He's still dealing with his relationship with the Emperor. We have this amazing artwork display, double page, going over all the events in Anakin's life, from being a child to seeing him actually in the Vader comic when he's getting Force Lightninged by the Emperor himself. So pretty cool flashbacks there. I will say we didn't really learn a lot about Vader in this comic. It was a little bit disappointing as far as like an introspective into Vader. I feel like we've read this story, we've experienced this story before, and that is kind of my overall thoughts on this Age of Rebellion series of 8 comics now that we've seen all of them, or I think there was 9, whatever. We know that 4 characters, 4 heroes, 4 villains, and compared to the Age of Republic series, which I thought was great, that miniseries had a lot of new layers for the character, whereas for the Age of Rebellion, it was kind of a retread on a lot of the characters, having stories solidifying why they are who they are, why they're doing what they're doing, that kind of thing. So the favorite of mine has been Age of Rebellion Luke Skywalker. I thought that did lots of cool stuff for Luke, but other than that, I feel like a lot of these stories we've already kind of experienced in a way before. Moving on to the next comic we have is Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, issue number 3. So this has been a very fun series, jumping between different timelines in Star Wars, different characters. This one spotlights Hondo Ohnaka, who actually is at Galaxy's Edge. He is the animatronic that is actually going to put you on the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run ride. So the story is, again, about these 3 thieves. They want to get this Sith artifact out of Dok-Ondar's Den of Antiquities, which you can go to. And, well, they end up getting into some First Order trouble. Next thing you know, they have to expedite their plans to get this object out of this planet, which is being blockaded by the First Order. So what do? They go to this character, Hondo Ohnaka, who has this special shipping arrangement on the planet, aka smuggling, and they end up having him do a deal. But first, he wants to reminisce a little bit about this time when he actually smuggled something off of Jeddah through the Imperial blockade. So he goes and tells this story about how it was him and Dok-Ondar. They go to the Temple of the Kyber, and wouldn't you know, they run into lots of these disciples of the Wills, the brethren of Chirrut Imwe, and Ohnaka wants to get this object out of there. It's made of Kyber, and they almost get out, and next thing you know, they run into Chirrut Imwe. Chirrut Imwe from Rogue One is in this comic. He's interacting with Hondo. They're having a fight. They both seem equal, and Hondo ends up talking his way out of it to the point where they do get away with this thing. And we find out later on in this issue that this item is an item that Hondo apparently had dealings with before with none other than rogue archaeologist Dr. Afrin. That's how we leave off in this issue. So lots of cool things in this issue. First off, I love seeing Oga's Cantina. This comic is basically a huge promotion tool for Galaxy's Edge. Black Spire. Black Spire. I'm talking about World of Warcraft for a minute there. Gotta slow down. So yeah, it's all about Oga's Cantina. You can see all that cool stuff going on there. Even DJ Rex. I really love seeing the Temple of the Kyber. We haven't seen that before, and seeing how the Empire just kind of moved in a way, and seeing the different abilities of these warriors that are defending the Kyber. We have an Ugnaught there, which is pretty cool. And I like learning more about Dok-Ondar. We learn about his motivations, his history, his family. His parents were killed, murdered, and it was because of this archaeological items they were identifying. So that's pretty much why he's doing what he's doing with the artifacts, is because he's trying to get down to the bottom of what exactly is happening. And, it's just nice seeing that these stories are coming into a fascinating kind of perspective of all these different characters. I will say I'm a little bit kind of lukewarm on the idea of, or a little mixed, I should say, a little bit mixed on the idea of Hondo Ohnaka meeting so many characters that we already know. I know he's a legendary pirate, but it seems like the galaxy's getting smaller because he knows like so many characters. I feel like, oh, now he's going to know Dr. Afra. Next thing you know, he's going to know Luke Skywalker or something like crazy like that. So I am enjoying this series, and I am looking forward to see where it goes with this Sith sword weapon that they've introduced. And moving on to my question of the week. This one comes to me on Twitter from James M., the Crazy Gamer Historian 1999. At Robin McCormick, he asks, Star Wars Weekly, what animated characters should get the live-action treatment after seeing Saw Gerrera in Rogue One? It's pretty much a no-brainer for me. That's got to be Ahsoka Tano. People have been clamoring for some kind of Ahsoka Tano live-action for either a TV series or a movie. No, I don't think she'll appear in Rise of Skywalker. That's too inside baseball right now. But I think if they introduced her into another series, I think we could see her in the Cassian Andor series. I mean, we know that she is a fulcrum at that point, right? This is before Rebels, it looks like. Hopefully, maybe we'll see. We're not even sure on the timeline, but it would work in that era to see her as fulcrum going around recruiting some rebels from the defectors of the Imperial, stuff like that. I mean, she is the most popular animated character. It's very you can argue that's the case, right? She was in Clone Wars, and she came back in Rebels, and she killed it. Ashley Eckstein is awesome. It's just a question of who's going to play her. There's been lots of celebrities out there that have already kind of vouched their opinion for saying, I want to play the role of Ahsoka Tano. So that's just another thing to say. If anything's going to be involved with her, we know Dave Filoni, it's his baby. He created the character. You know that he's going to have to be involved in some way or another. He's involved with The Mandalorian. What's to say she doesn't appear in that? I highly doubt it. But then again, I don't really know enough about The Mandalorian to even make a judgment on that at this point. So yeah, easy for me, Ahsoka Tano. But I want to hear what you guys think about this question. Answer it. Who do you think should be an animated character that appears in live action? So you guys can get your questions answered by me using hashtag Star Wars Weekly. Next week, we can look forward to the beginning of the Age of Resistance series. First starting out with Finn #1. Then we're also going to get a new comic series, Target Vader issue #1, featuring Valance from the Imperial Cadet miniseries. Looking forward to that one. So what do you guys think about this week's comics? Are you enjoying Galaxy's Edge comics? And what did you think about the Age of Rebellion comics? Let's talk about it all in the comment section down below. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. I talk a lot about Star Wars. I've been talking a lot specifically about Jedi Fallen Order. I'm looking so very forward to playing this game. I have a breakdown of the extended cut of the gameplay they just put out. Make sure you check that out and do support the channel simply by subscribing. That is going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you guys so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also included 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.